Let's just keep it real. This is racism. Donald Trump shut down DC. Not because he wants to get rid of the homeless people. Not because he's so concerned about these gangs of young people. No, he shut it down because it's a predominantly black area. And we know, going way back in his history, he does not like black people. That's what this is about. This is about purging. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh my God. This is about purging people of color from that area.
If Washington, D.C. is so bad, right? Bad enough to call it a crisis, to call it an emergency, in order to deploy the National Guard there, what kind of leader is Donald Trump? I mean, just 2 months ago, he practically begged people to come to Washington, D.C. for his little birthday/military parade. What kind of leader sends his people for slaughter to a death zone? And yet, while he was inviting you guys and begging you all to come, there was no mention of this crisis or this emergency. In fact, the only thing he warned about was maybe there might be some rain, but it's okay, because that means it's good luck. So did Donald Trump send his people into a war zone? Or is Donald Trump lying about this emergency crisis?
Family, did you know that Donald J. Trump has sent 800 National Guard officers to take over Washington, D.C.? He says that Washington, D.C. is dirty, it's a crime scene, and they need to clean Washington, D.C. with immediate effect. Many Americans claiming this is just another excuse for Donald Trump to be a dictator, making the executive to take over Washington, D.C. He says that this is a crime scene, and many Americans are saying that this is a lie. Some of them are linking this move to just targeting black communities in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is predominantly black, and some people are linking this to try, and get rid of the black communities in Washington, D.C. Some people are also arguing and saying that 2 months ago, he begged people to go to the military parade, his birthday parade in the same Washington, D.C. He never mentioned in the time that Washington, D.C., was not safe. And people are saying that this agenda that he's pushing has a deeper meaning. Some are also claiming that the reason as to why he's pushing that is just to make Americans shift their attention from claiming the Epstein files. So family, I want you to watch this video as Americans debunk about this story of Trump cleaning Washington, D.C. Once the series of videos are done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this video together, family.
Let's just keep it real. This is racism. Donald Trump shut down DC. Not because he wants to get rid of the homeless people. Not because he's so concerned about these gangs of young people. No, he shut it down because it's a predominantly black area. And we know, going way back in his history, he does not like black people. That's what this is about. This is about purging. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh my God. This is about purging people of color from that area. And it'll be the first. He'll try more. This is like, people say California was the test. I don't think California was the test. It wasn't strong enough. This is the test, DC. And if we allow this to move forward, we're in trouble. Because he will go after every major city, and he'll go after people of color first. And even though there's been this big immigration hit with our Hispanic brothers and sisters, I feel like for him, with the DC thing, this is about Black people specifically. And we know, those of us who have been paying attention, all the protests we've been having for months and months and months, Black people have stayed out of it for the most part, which was quite wise. And we all know why. If you don't know why, ask one of your Black friends. And everybody should have a Black friend and a brown friend. Have lots of them. It's good. Makes you a better person. Diversity. It's good. So let's not let Trump get away with thinking that we're idiots and that we don't see exactly what's going on, what he's trying to do. This will not become an all-white America. No, we are not vanilla. We're not. We were never meant to be vanilla. I don't want vanilla. I want 31 flavors. I'm so mad. This shit pisses me off.
This is an emergency. This is a tragic emergency. And it's embarrassing for me to be up here. You know, I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia on Friday. I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was.
What's embarrassing is the lengths that you're willing to go through to lie in order to fulfill the Heritage Foundation's little manifesto known as Project 2025. That's what's embarrassing. And anyone out here celebrating this bullshit is an idiot. Which is shocking to me because the majority of the people that are celebrating it are the same ones that claim to believe in states' rights. Granted, Washington, D.C. is a little bit different than other cities in America, but make no mistake, Washington, D.C. is currently a testing ground for the Trump administration in order to take this shit national. And as a New Yorker, I think I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. You see, much like Washington, D.C. right now that is experiencing drastic drops in their crime rates, so was New York City at the time before Giuliani came into office. But that didn't stop Giuliani from running a platform of how dangerous and lawless the city has become in order to justify his police state. Burned into my memory is how inhumanely the homeless were treated at that time. He never addressed the problems of homelessness. He would just sweep them off the street in visible popular areas and then do photo ops in Times Square to show how much he cleaned up the city. But he either criminalized homelessness by throwing them in jail or throwing people in jail who exhibited homeless behaviors, something as simple as sitting on a New York City sidewalk. Or when he wasn't throwing them in jail, he was throwing them into already overcrowded homeless shelters. He never addressed the issues with homelessness. He never gave them adequate housing. And don't even get me started on the racial profiling. We're talking extreme racial profiling that went on during Giuliani's administration. I would need an entire other video to get into that. And what boggles my mind is that the average Trump supporter is one job layoff away from being homeless themselves. And of course, he's going to start off in blue cities first, but eventually he'll come to a city near you. So be careful what you wish for. Don't be fooled by the guise of safety in order to trample on your civil liberties. And of course, if you don't live in these major cities that he's going to attack, you're going to take what he's saying as the truth. But statistics, time and time again, prove that to be wrong. And it's just an excuse to give the executive office more power. Something that has been Project 2025's plan all along. You may think right now that you fall under the Heritage Foundation's vision of what this country is supposed to be like. But if you step one pinky toe out of that vision, guess where you're going to end up? This is not the administration of second chances or rehabilitation or anything like that, or solving root problems that causes these issues. No, no, no. This is the administration of you being treated inhumanely, right? Having your freedoms taken away from you under the guise of law and order. But yeah, yuck it up right now because it's happening in a blue city. Wait until they come into your small town where opioid addiction is at its highest rates. Wait until your sons and your daughters that are addicted to drugs, where they're going to wind up under this administration. The national crisis will no longer be the drugs that are coming in from the southern border. The national crisis will be you. And they'll come after you next. Mark my words. Cleaning up DC is a good thing. Give it time. Yeah. Quick question though. If Washington, D.C. is so bad, right? Bad enough to call it a crisis, to call it an emergency, in order to deploy the National Guard there, what kind of leader is Donald Trump? I mean, just 2 months ago, he practically begged people to come to Washington, D.C. for his little birthday/military parade. What kind of leader sends his people for slaughter to a death zone? And yet, while he was inviting you guys and begging you all to come, there was no mention of this crisis or this emergency. In fact, the only thing he warned about was maybe there might be some rain, but it's okay, because that means it's good luck. So did Donald Trump send his people into a war zone? Or is Donald Trump lying about this emergency crisis? Because that doesn't make sense to me. But yes, I forgot. He did have a warning for people. But it wasn't criminals.
And we're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protester who wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And
sounds like to me that the only threat Donald Trump fears are people coming out and speaking against him. And he was threatening Americans with force for exercising their First Amendment rights. And where do most protests against presidents happen? Oh, that's right, Washington, D.C. It's really sad to me how Americans, number one, don't have critical thinking skills, and two, have the memories of goldfish, because the first step of fascism is to use the guise of safety. And this isn't the first time, right? Didn't George Bush take away so many freedoms from the American people because of terrorism? It's not about cleaning up DC. It's about silencing the American people.
As a resident of Washington, D.C., I am outraged that Donald Trump has sent the military into our city and seized control of the police. Donald Trump claims the city is overrun by crime and homelessness, but that's not true. Crime is at a 30-year low. Homelessness has dropped 10% since last year. The chair of the city council called it an extreme, outrageous, and dangerous move. He argued, rightly so, that the National Guard is trained for warfare and disasters, not community policing. Trump has done something similar before. Back in 2020, he flooded our city with troops during peaceful Black Lives Matter protests. And just in June, he sent 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles over immigration raids. But this time, it's a complete takeover of the city's police and authority. This isn't about safety, it's a power grab. It's about silencing dissent. Washington, D.C. is supposed to be the nation's protest capital. Trump wants to replace that with troops, checkpoints, and crackdowns. Today it's about crime and homelessness. Tomorrow it could be about protests, strikes, or simply disagreeing with Donald Trump. We, the residents of Washington, D.C., say no to the militarization of our streets. End the takeover. Withdraw the troops. Block federal overreach. Challenge it in court. And push for D.C. statehood so this can never happen again.
Well, the day has finally arrived. The one that we warned everyone about. The one that is so clearly depicted in Project 2025. Trump has deployed the National Guard and the DC police to fight a situation that isn't even a problem. He has quite literally manufactured a problem so that we don't pay attention to the fact that we don't have the Epstein files, so that we just don't pay close attention to what he's trying to hide. That man will stop at nothing to make sure his agenda is pushed. And his agenda is not going to prison. His agenda is continuing to destroy the country piece by piece by piece until we are left with nothing but destruction and distractions. And yes, half the country voted for this.
It's absurd. I mean, DC is a city, and there's the issues that any city has, but it's absurd. And, you know, if his mouth is moving, he's lying, one of those things. So, I mean, it's all distractions.
Every city that he named, Chicago, Oakland, Baltimore, all of them are black cities. So it just feels not only like a target on DC's back, but also mine as a black man in DC. It's just, it doesn't feel like home anymore. If you don't live in DC, you would think that, damn, DC is like he said, giving Baghdad or something, but it's not. It's not at all. Like, yes, we have issues like any other inner city, but those issues are coming because the tops are white people, and they don't see us. We want to make DC suitable for us, not for everyone.
I'm really scared for my neighbors. Actions like Trump's and words like Trump's are indicative of like an overwhelming fear of people who are different from you. And I think that like with that fear of people being different from you is usually you not putting a lot of effort into getting to know the people around you and getting to know your neighbors. And I think that's evidenced by the fact that it's so easy to say, oh, call in the National Guard or call in all of these agencies to police a neighborhood of people who have just as much of a right to be here as anyone else. And that fear is a disconnect between someone who's living there and people who are living like right down the street from you.
I think you can see that the mayor has established as well these new juvenile curfew enforcement zones, and they're primarily in black and brown neighborhoods, right? And so both from the mayor's standpoint and the Trump's standpoint, this is about race. I've lived here a long time. I feel safe, right? Like, this is a safe city.
It's taking federal control of the police, and that's just not okay. I feel like these are the sorts of things that you start to see in dictatorships and in really, in regimes that want to consolidate power. This is the nation's capital, and we have home rule for a reason. We should be a state, but we're not. So, get the out of here.
We have some news right now. We have another big protest breaking out in D.C. Hundreds of people are currently marching across the city right behind me. As you can actually see, it's not as big as the one from this morning. It's a few hundred people. And what they're marching against is what Donald Trump's takeover of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. Here you can see them right behind me. And at the front of the protest is a person holding a sign saying, release the Epstein files, because that's ultimately what this is about. Many people say that this is just a distraction, which in a lot of ways it could be. But anyways, you have hundreds of people right now marching across D.C., protesting Donald Trump's mobilization of the National Guard, protesting his federal takeover of the local law enforcement. So we'll see what happens. I'm on the ground. I'm not going anywhere. I'm providing you coverage every step of the way. Hundreds of people out here. We're good. We're safe. Follow along for more. And subscribe to my Substack at the link in my bio to to support my work. I'll have much more to come very soon.
DC crime down big this year. Violent crime down 26%, robberies 28%, homicides 11%. That's the trend since the Biden years. So why is the president suddenly calling it a war zone and sending in the Guard? Because if things are already getting better, you can show up, do nothing, then point at the chart and say, look what I fixed. And it just happens to drop right after we learn his name shows up in the Epstein files over 100,000 times. You heard me, 100,000 times. It's an old play. Flood the news with fear so no one notices what's hiding in the fine print. If this works here, guess what's next?
Since DC is officially shut down, I just want to say that they're not stopping at DC, y'all. They're not stopping at DC. They're coming for all the other black communities, cities as well. DC is predominantly, so yeah, he's coming for them. I need y'all to understand that way back in the day, everybody knew that orange man in there, he don't like us. He never did. Never did. And when they was doing those deportations, and I was telling y'all, they're not going to stop at just the Hispanic people. They're coming for us too. I was right. I was so right about that. And it's happening right in our faces. They're going to try to purge. I feel like they're trying to do what they're doing to get us to come outside so that way they can do what they really want to do, y'all. Don't go outside. If you live in DC, stay at home. Is it getting dark? In every other predominantly city, y'all need to prepare because I promise they're not stopping at DC. They're not stopping at DC. And truthfully, I real life didn't really know nothing about Trump for real until When They See Us came out. That's what it's called, right? When They See Us with the teenagers from Central Park. I never really knew nothing like factual facts about him until then. That's when I started doing my research on him for real, y'all. And yeah. That's all I need to say for real. I feel like we've been doing really good at like staying out of all the stuff that's been going on these past few months because that's like the best thing for us to do. But it's like now, like they're like literally coming to our doorsteps. And I heard that they were going to Baltimore and Chicago next. Truthfully, like I really think it's gonna be like the blue cities that they're going to. I just don't think anything red he's gonna do anything to. Anything that's blue, I feel like it is something bound to happen. I feel like we just never even know. And the fact that this is even happening and they're allowing it to happen, it's gonna happen all over the states. Like, it's inevitable. I just know it. I just feel it in my bones that Washington, D.C. is not the only city that they're coming for. So I think everybody needs to be paying attention. Everybody needs to be on the lookout because I'm telling you, when he speaks on these stands, he's literally telling us everything that he's going to do. And then people be surprised when he do it. But he's telling y'all, stay woke.
Family, many Americans are claiming that Donald J. Trump is turning to be a dictator. Many Americans are saying that Washington, D.C. has in fact reduced in its crime rates. Many Americans are asking Donald Trump a question. How do you intend to clean a city that this is not a crisis, a city that does not have higher crime rates right now as we speak? People are telling Donald Trump that he's trying to change attention to more important issues. Many Americans are telling him to provide the Epstein files. He's trying to shift the attention from what many people are actually trying to concentrate on right now. And people are saying that Donald Trump will proceed to move to other cities. He's also mentioned that he'll go to Chicago. He will go, to New York. He'll send more and more National Guard to ensure that these cities are cleaned. Some people are also claiming that this is an agenda to wipe out black communities in Washington, D.C. Some black people are telling other black people that they should not join others in the streets as they try to counter, this idea of cleaning DC. street families are being kicked out, of Washington, D.C. Many people are asking Donald Trump, why can't you then come up, with a formula that will ensure that most Americans get housed? The easiest way is to make, housing be cheaper. Most of these MAGA supporters are also, one one job loss away from them being homeless. You understand how crazy rent is right now in America. So what has the government done to ensure that there are no more homeless people in these very streets? Trump is standing to be a dictator to fulfill his Project 2025. DC is actually experiencing a crime drop right now. Why is he not addressing the problem of homelessness? Why does he not give adequate, affordable housing? If you feel that people who are in the street are the problem, people who are homeless are the problem, what have you done about that? Do you go arrest them? Do you go kick them out? Tell them that they should move from the street? Is that a solution to our problem, really? People are saying that there is a deeper agenda. It could be black communities. Many people are linking this and saying that Donald Trump doesn't love black people. And this is well known. An average Trump supporter is one job layoff away from being homeless. His plan is to give the executive more power, typical of Project 2025. When you give the executive more power, that means you're pushing dictatorship in a country. Why is he not leaving the local police to tackle issues? Why is he deploying 800 National Guard? National Guard are usually deployed at least 200, between 100 and 200. For him to deploy 800 National Guard officers, his intention is, of course, not good. The last time I checked, he deployed 2,000 National Guard while there were protests about the mass deportations. The Trump administration has proven time and again that he has been an incompetent leader. If DC was so bad, if DC is in a point of a crisis, then why did Donald Trump 2 months ago beg people to go for the military parade, his birthday parade? There was never a mention of this crisis then. Family, there is something fishy. We all also know that DC is a black area. And as you've heard from a white person in this video, he's never liked black people. Could this be linked to black communities in Washington, D.C.? Does he want black people to go to the street? Then now he counters them. What is really happening right now? What is he hiding from us? Does he want to shift the attention from the Epstein files? Is there a real crisis in Washington, D.C.? Is there something he's trying to hide from Americans? Family, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this specific video. What do you think also about the idea of trying to deploy, the National Guard, 800 of them, to take over a crisis that many believe is a lie? We've started seeing Americans in the streets of DC calling him and telling the president that he should instead release the Epstein file and that they will not forget, what they actually want or rather demand from the president. Family, let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Kindly like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'd be very, very grateful. The goal of the channel has always been to discuss black stories, black history, and ensure that black stories are told the black way. And fam, I'd really, really appreciate if you all do consider subscribing. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Share this video, like it, and above all, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.